We're going to start with the gentleman in the
How are
blue
you,
shirt.
dear?
Hey, Matthew, back here.
Thank you. Thank you.
You've let us in on having so much fun. Have you been free enough to just let this come into you?
You mean what's happening? Like, I mean, in
And even the TV series.
right. Well, I've been having a lot of fun with the work I've been doing, more fun than I've ever been having. I mean, I talked about a little bit tonight about that experience of where we get to go as actors, and sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. You look for it, doesn't, no guarantee. I've also been real fortunate to be a part of working with some people directors that had a singular vision, that putting together stories that I was very supported by. Now, the fun I've been having with the circuit is I would, if I wasn't having fun, take me behind the woodshed and straighten me out, because, I mean, we do this. I get to have a career at this. I've been doing it 22 years. We all get to do this. It's a privilege to do what we do. And we don't do it for the results. We do it for the process and the enjoyment of it, but then the results come. I'm sure going to keep my head and heart high if that's coming, and say thank you, because it's a great moment in my career, and I'm surely going to enjoy it. And I have great stories and experiences, specifically with Dallas Buyers Club. The fact that it took the 20 years to get made, the fact that the right amount of people came together to make it, and nobody else wanted to make it. So I have the battle wound stories that I will never get tired of sharing. Oh, thank you. Well, it is fun. Thank you.
And the
Matthew,
gentleman in the
back
blue
here,
shirt.
Yes, sir.
You said as a result of the physical transformation that you got much sharper mentally.
Yeah.
How long did that stay with you? Do you still feel a little bit sharper than you were before you started, or did it gradually kind of go?
Well, I'm trying to hang on to as much of it as I can. There was, on a very literal sense, I was hungry for knowledge, for research, for information, for trying to get to the core of my man. So yeah, I've tried to hang on to as much of that as possible. There's a real benefit to being hungry, interested, curious, and having an insatiable appetite for that. Not just in the literal sense, physically, but mentally and spiritually. And so I chose to just, I don't know if I chose it or it just happened, but I noticed that was a real asset of the idea of actually losing the physical balance. And as I said, all the power and energy I lost from the neck down, I gained from the neck up. And in an odd and ironic way, I put myself in a position to be doing what Ron Woodruff was doing, spending 24/7 researching this disease that he didn't know anything about and becoming an expert on it. So I sat around and became an expert on my man as much as I could as an actor. Yeah, it's still with me quite a bit. I mean, I have certain days where I miss him. Back of that way. I was getting up at 4 a.m. It didn't matter if I went to bed at 2:30 a.m. I got up at 4 a.m. like clockwork, and loved that 2 hours where the world is silent from 4 to 6, and just wrote. It was beautiful. Now I like to sleep a little past 4 for sure.
Matthew,
Yeah.
the actual physical transformation, you went through this period of, obviously you must have been hungry, and was that physically tough for you? And what did you crave when you were done with the role, and could he?
Well, the hard part's making the decision to do it. And I have a term that I assert to my life often, which is when faced with the inevitable, get relative. So when I knew I needed to lose the weight to go be Ron Woodruff, if I did not, I would not be doing my job. I would be embarrassed. I knew I was going to do it. So then it was easy. Then it was just saying, well, I'm doing it. I need to structure my life, structure my meals to do so. I had support from my family and everything as well. They didn't put temptations in front of me. I didn't go to my favorite steakhouse and have a conversation. I wasn't going to go put myself in front of that. So I became a nice little hermit and enjoyed it as much as I could, and had to entertain myself with everything Ron Woodruff. What I found, I said this the other night, I don't know if some people got the joke, but it was really true. I never knew. I found tapioca pudding. And that was, I would get the tiniest little, I found this little, and we were in New Orleans, so I found the tiniest little antique spoon, the little bitty sugar spoons, and I would eat it with that so it would last longer. Oh, it was great in my morning when I'd sit there and write from 4 to 6 with my tapioca pudding. I could make it last an hour. And then when I got done, I went and made the ultimate cheeseburger. And it took me 45 minutes to prepare it after it was cooked. And the friend I was eating with had finished his dessert before I even took my first bite. Yeah.
And this gentleman right here.
Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
First, I just want to say it's good to see you and Woody on screen together again.
Yeah.
At TV is one of my favorites. You must get inundated all the time with projects. Can you just talk about your process of how you choose each project? Because it seems like recently, with like Mud, True Detective, Dallas Buyers Club, you're just knocking them out of the park. So can you just talk about what projects?
I've really been going for identity of character and quality of writing. I mean, Mud was a beautiful, poetic script. It was its own thing. I haven't seen anything else like it. Jeff Nichols' language that he put into that script was beautiful. He wrote that with me in mind. Dallas Buyers is something I had for a few years. I knew I wanted to do it, but it was just a matter of when and how. And these roles don't come on along that often. I think I said that tonight. True Detective, read 2 episodes, Nick Pizzolatto's writing, Cary Fukunaga directing. I said, if I can play the role of Cole, I'm in. There were 6 more episodes, but I was like, this has such an identity. All the writer has to do is stay on track, and we're gold. Or I hope we're gold. Yeah. 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 Thank you. Thank you, man.
Thank you, everyone.
All right now. Just keep living now.